after chanting or before, we repeat this Harinama, Harinama, Harinama verse. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told Prakashananda Saraswati that his spiritual master taught him this verse, and he just advised him that he should have full faith in the chanting of the holy name, and that by chanting, then everything will come in. Chaitanya Bhagavat, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says the word Sarva Siddhi Hoy, all siddhi, all perfection. Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Nama. Hare Nama, even if someone chants offensively. That may be a obstacle that one should cross over very quickly in spiritual life, of course. It doesn't just reflect on chanting the holy name, but because the holy name is the Yuga Dharma, therefore we have those 10 offenses. Holy name takes objection to any of those, and therefore holds back its actual potency. Because Abhinatva Nama Namino. So Krishna's name, there's no difference. Sometimes there's reference in Shastra where Krishna is called the form of the name. In other words, it puts the holy name above Krishna. It's no difference. So you can have Krishna's name above, or you can have Krishna above. And even if one chants offensively, then Shastra says, Nama parada juktanam, Nama evam harantyagam, that you should just keep chanting. What's the use? So many times, I don't know where devotees get the idea, but they say, well, isn't it better if I just chant 2 rounds attentively than 16 rounds inattentively? If you can chant 2 rounds attentively, why not 16? And why should it be either or? No, we should just continue, even if the first 2 are attentive and the next are inattentive, by what Srila Prabhupada called this numerical strength. That the more one chants, then even though we only get purified by the quality of our chanting, it's a very unique thing. We have this saying, lifting someone up by one's bootstraps. In other words, it's an impossibility. But this is what happens when we're chanting Hare Krishna. According to the sound vibration that we emit, that's what we hear. And therefore, when we're doing our mantra japa, then that's how much benefit we get. That's why Sankirtan, which means not just ourselves chanting in a sort of a meditative way, but chanting in the association of others, then we also get the benefit of others' transcendental sound vibration. But that also has its limits. Sometimes the devotees think, well, if I have Prabhupada chanting while I'm chanting, I'll listen to Prabhupada. Well, you can't do that. Meditation means that you're absorbing your senses. You can't absorb your senses in someone else. Certainly we can, and we should always be connected with Srila Prabhupada, but ultimately the responsibility falls on us. So still, Nama Pradajuktanam. And then if one chants without offense, or one chants purely, still, that is, one should continue to chant. There's nothing like that. And then Harinam, 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 and even if one chants with love, Nastiva, 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 nothing compares. Nothing compares even to the offensive chanting. It's not very powerful, but the main benefit is that it will lead you forward to a better quality of the holy name. And Namabhas, already the offenseless chanting is considered to be better than Ashwamedha Yagyas and better than any type of Gyan, Yoga, etc. That then becomes the path for the next stage, and like that. One becomes the qualification for the other. Of course, it's better if perhaps due to some pious activity in the previous life, one comes in at a higher stage, but in any case, nastiva, 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 nothing. It's not only repetitious, but it's also wiping out karma, gyan, jog, none of these things, even if you think they're done perfectly. Even if you think they're done perfectly, they are of no comparison. In fact, someone is considered to be an atheist if it compares the chanting of the holy name. Because ultimately, what is the holy name delivering? So, Golokera Premadana, Harinama Sankirtana, that this is the Prema done. Holy name is actually bestowing prema, bestowing love of God. You don't get that. Even the most perfect yogi, even yogis who become adept in meditating upon the super soul within their heart, but they're not getting Krishna prema. What to speak of? They're not getting love for the divine couple. So everything is really contained within the holy name, but the connection we always use, we're chanting the Hare Krishna mantra, which means that we're appealing to Radha and Krishna, but approaching Radha and Krishna is very, very difficult. Even if you chant purely. Narottam Das Thakur concludes that Praitana, Bhakti True Swami Maharaj used to quote that verse that the path to Vrindavan is very slippery and very winding, and it's very, very difficult to approach. And that's why prior to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance, it was very, very rare that some very exalted Vaishnavas actually chanted the Hare Krishna Mahamantra to perfection. But when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came, then he emphasized and gave that blessing. Not only he gave the blessing, but literally speaking, Lord Chaitanya's service became the qualification for entering into pure chanting. Therefore, our acharyas have always repeated that Srila Prabhupada can listen to many lectures where Prabhupada says, don't try to jump over You're a spiritual master. Don't try to jump over the disciplic succession. Don't try to jump over Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to Krishna. You have to go through. And literally speaking, although Radha and Krishna are worshipable deities, but at the same time, the Juga avatar is this Krishna, Varnam Tisa Krishnam, is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And he is Radha Krishna Nahi Anya. He is that combined form of Radha and Krishna. And therefore, by chanting his name, by service to him, then one ultimately pleases Lord Chaitanya. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is pleased, he'll reveal himself to us, Radha and Krishna, and he'll give devotees blessings. Now you can enter into Vrindavan. In 1973, there was the seventh chapter of Adi Leela. Srila Prabhupada published in a very big book. It was an A4 size book, not the standard size of our books. And this was about deliverance of Prakashananda Saraswati and the glories of the Panchatattva. And in there, Srila Prabhupada says on a few times that chanting the Panchatattva Mahamantra is more powerful than chanting Hare Krishna. So as soon as you say something new to devotees, it immediately becomes a fad. So everybody started chanting 16 rounds of the Panchatattva Mahamantra. I mean, they didn't give up chanting Hare Krishna, but... So, of course, it came back to Prabhupada, and Prabhupada was asked, well, Srila Prabhupada, why do we have to chant Hare Krishna? If because Panchatattva Mahamantra, there's no Namaparad. That's a real benefit. He says, why don't we just chant Panchatattva Mahamantra? And Lord Chaitanya says, because Lord Chaitanya told you to chant Hare Krishna. So it's a very interesting dynamic that here's something in which you could, in principle, advance much quicker. And yet because Lord Chaitanya says no, even if you're chanting offensively with the Mahamantra, still, that's where you need to start. So the order supersedes spiritual benefit. And this is an example of that the order of Lord Chaitanya to chant, that yes, we should chant Harinam, we're not chanting Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar, Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda. Of course, at that time it was Jaya Advaita Gadadhar that we were chanting. And then later Prabhupada changed it. So we chant. But nonetheless, and this is why the meaning of Srila Prabhupada's emphasis that if you want to get Krishna's attention, then you have to then preach. Preaching means you somehow or another serve Lord Chaitanya's mission. That mission that specifically Lord Chaitanya concentrated on from the age 24 to 30, traveling all over India and preaching the glories of the holy name. And the combination of these two things, chanting Hare Krishna and serving the Panchatattva, then the holy name will Sarva Siddhi Hoy. Sometimes certain group of Vaishnavas criticize the line of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur that we don't have any, what they call Siddha Pranali. But everything is in, Lord Chaitanya says, Sarva Siddhi Hoy. So that means that your siddhi Pranali, Siddha Pranali, is also in the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. The seed of one's Siddha, the seed of one's Swarup, one's eternal spiritual identity, everything is there. And by chanting, there's this very beautiful Nam Mahatmya of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, I don't know, Gitamala or one of his songbooks, where he talks about how the holy name ultimately reveals everything, reveals my spiritual form, takes me to Vrindavan. So that deep, deep faith, that yes. And we see Srila Prabhupada didn't give any quick fixes. In his last days, Prabhupada didn't do anything different than he did in his first days. Because from the beginning to the end, Srila Prabhupada gave everything. And this was what Krishnadas Babaji Maharaj said about Srila Prabhupada, that I saw that he had this great faith in the holy name. And because of that, Srila Prabhupada was able to do what he actually did. So serving the holy name, chanting, of course that's also serving, but the different methods of service to the holy name. And then one should be assured that ultimately Nastiva, 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 one will supersede the benefit that anything that's found in the Vedas. But these two things, Radha Krishna and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that we keep them tightly locked up within our hearts and always take shelter of them. And then one's able to, ultimately, one comes to that stage of chanting by which Lord Chaitanya gives the green light. All right, you can go. Jiva Goswami was always worshipping Chaitanya Mahaprabhu because he was always lamenting that he did not meet Lord Chaitanya, or actually saw Lord Chaitanya when Lord Chaitanya went to Ramakeli, but he was like a little baby. He was always thinking about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and Lord Chaitanya was his Ishtadeva. So finally, when he went from Ramakeli and Navadvip, he met the Lord Nityananda. Lord Nityananda told him to go open up Banaras, and then Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya's brother. He studied under him, and then he came to Vrindavan. And Lord Chaitanya appeared to him once in his dream. He said, okay, look, you start worshipping Radha and Krishna, and I'm also there simultaneously, but don't exclude the meditation on the divine couple. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is always there to guide all the sincere devotees and take them back home, back to Godhead. Hare Krishna. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.